Charlie Cushane here to do another mod, this time to my metal detector. One of my favorite hobbies I have. And this is my Whites DFX metal detector. It's about, I don't know, 30 years old. And Whites itself has gone out of business. We're going to modify this one to make it lighter and metal detect longer than it's ever done before. So stick with me. Okay, the big problem I've found with this Whites is you can't get the parts anymore. And they're few and far between. You can find them on eBay or something, but it's the battery packs. There's two kinds, NiCad, and then there's the regular battery pack, which you're supposed to put 8 AA batteries in. This is sort of like a backup. And that works okay, but I don't like using batteries and then throwing them out. And these NiCads are okay, but you only get a couple, 2, 3, 4 hours out of this. And sometimes if you go out for a long day, this isn't long enough and you have to fall back on the regular alkaline batteries. So, and they're kind of heavy and expensive. So I said, okay, it's time for me to move on from this. And my goal today is integrate this lithium battery. This new lithium pack is a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. This should last me 20, 30 hours, days worth of metal detecting. And it's nice, it has a switch here and little LEDs that tell you how the battery charges, which is totally great. I never had that before. So we got to find a way to integrate this with the metal detector, and I have an idea. Normally in the back of this metal detector, there's a couple of clips that open the door, and you take a battery pack and you slide it in, just like that, and close the door, which works great. It's easy to change. I want to maintain that easeability of putting it in and out, but this battery pack is too big. It won't fit in there. And it's a little bit heavier than a normal pack. So I've decided I'm going to make this a remote battery pack. And to that end, I found this belt case, which just so happens to fit this perfect. Perfect. Gives me access still to the switch, and I can still see the green lights there. So I know how it's doing, and this will just go on my belt loop. And I'll have a wire that'll go to this, and I'm gonna take one of these old battery packs, take it apart, and run a wire from this to my battery pack on my belt. So let's start working on that. Okay, the first thing I want to do is take this apart. It comes apart pretty easy. And there's the NiCad batteries. 1 of 16. So there's 8 years old. And you can see how it's wired. So I'm just going to take my snippers. Snip, snip. I'm going to take these batteries out because I don't need them anymore. But then I'm going to take a piece of wire, run it through the pack, and solder it to these same positions on the battery pack. Wire them right to the same positions, plus and minus, so that this will now slide into the metal detector and maintain all the functionality of it. And if something happens to my lithium pack, I can also just go and put one of these older packs in, or my AA batteries, in an emergency. So it maintains the functionality of the metal detector and doesn't compromise anything. So let's get running this wire. Okay, I determined that right there on this door, I want to put a hole. And it's going to be a slot so I can move it in and out. So I'm putting a hole right here. All right. I need at least 1/4 inch. Now I want to drill a hole into the battery pack. So I'm holding it pretty firm. Let's see. Here we go. A nice hole on an angle into the battery pack. Perfect. Okay, now I have to turn this hole into a slot to get the wire in and out. And of course, I'm going to do it with my Dremel tool. I'm just stuffing some paper in here to keep anything from going in there. Okay, this is how it's going to work. This piece of wire is going to get soldered onto these 2 posts, and then the back pack will slide in like normal, right? And then this door will close like normal. There we go. Now I'm preparing, I cut this insulation back. I'm getting my snippers out. There we go. This is nice 16 gauge wire. So what we want to do is bring it through here. And then we're going to attach it to the same spots the wires were going before. So that's our goal. Okay, first thing we have to do is tin the wires, which just means get a little solder on it so it sticks better. Here we go. That's one. There we go. Okay. Another thing I want to do is put a strain relief on this. So I'm putting a zip tie. Right there. There we go. Now it can't pull out. And now to solder this connection. We know positive is the, right there, the battery. There's a picture of a battery and this is the positive end. You know what you're doing. Here's one. Here we go. Too well soldered. Okay, now I just slide this cover on and we'll be all set. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Cable coming out the side, ready to go in. Okay, the battery pack came with a connector that I'm now wiring on to the end of my wire that'll go to the metal detector. And I'm using these heat shrink soldering connectors. So let's see how they work. There we go. Okay, now I got two pieces of heat shrink tubing, one on each side, which I will use. One will go 3/4 of the way here. I'll shrink that on, then I'll put the other end on. Perfect. I'm going to overlap this. There we go. Nice and tight and watertight. Okay, now for a test. The way I think I'm going to do this, I put this battery on my back. I'm going to put it through the loop and then just hook it in. Turn it on. My green LEDs are right there. I can flip it up and see it. Nice and loose. Doesn't affect my swinging. It's definitely lighter because there's no battery pack, no weight in there. And then the real test. 11.4 volts. That's fantastic. And then I pick any preset programs, coins. There we go. Nice. I'm sensing the rebar in my floor. Working fantastic. Of course, to finish off my project, I bought some brand new Grace Ghost earphones. So those I usually wrap around my back and plug right in. There we go. So now I'm ready to go metal detecting.